Good evening. Time for some more Space Miner development tonight. I'll show what I've done since last time, because I've made quite a bit of progress and solved all the issues that I was having last stream as well. So last stream, one of the things I was struggling with, I was getting problems with the collision boxes on the asteroids. They weren't always destroying. I realised what was happening was that the way I do the asteroids, where I have the asteroid in the middle and then copies of them to show around the edge of the screens when screen wrapping's going on, the player missiles were hitting the copies which don't have any colliders because they're just dummy sort of images. So what I wasn't doing was wrapping the actual player laser. So now the player laser wraps around the screen as well, so the collisions are all working. And also what I've had to do is add dummy copies of all the explosions and the player laser, so that you can see all those. So I'll show you, I've added a few more effects as well, a bit of glow I've added to the player laser and the explosions. So let's have a look. You see the player laser's got a little bit of a glow to it. And when we destroy the asteroids, they glow a bit as the explosion glows too. You see it'll consistently now hit the asteroids every time. I've not noticed that sooner because originally when I set the level up I had it right, the player ship right in the middle of it, whereas I'm starting it sort of in the middle of the viewport area now. Yeah, this is where we're up to. So a few things on it want to make a start on tonight. When the player hits an asteroid, I'm going to have some form of kickback where the asteroid kicks back a bit more than it is there because it's just sort of floating along with the player. So that's one thing. Also, I'm going to add player health. And when you'll have a shield as well. So the first few times you hit asteroids, we'll have like a shield that sort of flashes and protects you. So I think that's what I'll probably work on first, get a shield drawn and then add that into the game. Hi Mitzi, how you doing? Thanks for dropping in. Some more work on Space Miner tonight. I don't know how long you've been here, but I've added a few extra things, a bit of glow to the lasers and a glow to the explosion when they happen, and all the collisions are now working with everything that I was having problems with before. So we're going to work on a laser first. So let's open up a sprite and let's create a new. Load the. I need to work out how big it needs to be because I need it round the player. Yeah, it's looking awesome and the movement is so smooth. Cheers. Yeah, I've spent quite a few hours over the last few days on it and got the asteroid level to a bit where it's behaving and is consistent. So I'm sort of just adding a bit of the finishing touches to it now, and then I'll move on to some other parts of the game. Find where I've got everything stored. Let's find the player ship. So that's 32 by 32, so we'll start working on a 48 by 48 one for the... Why is that gone to 32? Let's pop the player ship in the middle for now. What are you up to tonight, Nimitzi? Anything particular? Load my palette in. Now save my palette so I can add to it and keep using it. Right, we'll add a new layer. I'm thinking just a circle, and I might add a bit of a gradient to it, so... We'll have a nice bright green. We'll do it quite a bit bigger than the ship for now, because then it'll allow me, because I'm going to have various ships that the player can upgrade and purchase, so they're not all got to be this small. We'll make the opacity down on these. Not long finished work, so just gone ahead and make tea in a mo and decompress. Yeah, you do right. It's taking a bit getting back into this working life after Christmas, I'm finding. Planning on just making this flash a bit in the game. Yeah, but sort of it'll flicker on and off a bit like that when it gets hit a couple of times. And I think if I give it the glow shade like the lasers have got, it should look quite good. Right, get rid of this shit layer.
Take your words back home, but back away nice and slow. Feel the ebb and flow. Please get sucked out to sea. I wonder where you are, 'cause you know I take these things kinda extra hard. This back and forth will take me
So if it's a PNG.
anywhere I need to be. I can't need you anymore.
Mr. Elliptic, thank you for the raid. How are you doing? What have you been streaming today? Welcome in, everybody. I'm Richard from Frozen Well. Currently working on a space game. I'll show you what I'm working on. I've only been working on this since turn of the year, so it's still in quite an early stage. It's going to be a space mining game. At the minute I'm working on one of the mining levels, which has got to be based on sort of Asteroids, the old arcade game. So at the moment I've just been building out a basic Asteroids type game with screen wrapping, can shoot, and at the moment there's no ores or anything to collect. I'll be adding them in at some point. But we've got sort of an infinite scrolling wraparound Asteroids type game. Currently the player doesn't take damage, so that's what I'm working on tonight. I'm working on a shield for the player, and then I'll be adding the hit damage to the player and things. Small VR prototype like Angry Birds, but you throw the birds directly. Oh, cool. Nice, it looks good. Yeah, thanks, cheers. So yeah, say I've only been working on it for probably about 8-9 days now, so, and I'm reasonably new to Godot, so I'm sort of learning a lot of Godot as I go along as well, so yeah, that's what I'm up to. Hi, Coding Kaiju, how are you? But yeah, we've just drawn, as you probably saw when you came in, this has got the shield that appears when the player gets hit by an asteroid. And it's got in the engine, it'll just sort of flicker on and off. I'll get that working tonight, so I'm just about to add this into the game now and then get the functionality working. I'm good, thanks. Cool. So let's get this added in. I've reorganised all my folders, so I'm just a little bit slow of where I've put everything. I get a little bit OCD with the amount of folders I have for things, so where did I save that? Yeah, the plan is for this game, it's going to be predominantly based around mining in space, but there'll be lots of sort of old arcade themed mini games involved. You might get attacked by pirates, and that'll turn into maybe a boss battle or a shoot 'em up type level, and then tend on sort of landing on planets using things like the old Thrust game sort of mechanics, and then maybe flying about once you get on the planet using a little jetpack and things like that. So I've got lots of ideas, but I'm just getting a basic core game loop of being able to mine and then get some upgradability to the ships. I'm struggling to find where I saved it. Right, there we go. Lower the music volume, yep, sure. Is that a bit better? Right, so we've got the shield in now, so let's create a new scene for this. Don't think we're going to need anything more than an area 2D for this, or... Yeah, well, Create it from an area 2D. Much better, cool. Mr. Elliptic, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Quite new to Twitch as well, so all these follows help, so much appreciate that. I'm just thinking I probably don't need to do this as a separate scene because I'll just put it on the player actually. I think I'll do that. Can always split it out later if I want. I'm going to eat. Good luck with your game. Bye. Cheers. Thanks for the raid and thanks for the follow. Gonna lurk for Mo whilst I cook tea and thump my othe for misbehaving. No problem, Mitzi. Thanks for popping in. Right, so we shall add a sprite in. Shall give this a circle collider. Just hide these ship things for now so I'm not getting confused by what's what. Add the texture into the sprite. Right, so that's player shield. So what we will add in is when a body entered signal right, do I want to connect this? Figuring out whether to connect it to, yeah, I'll connect it to the player script. Body entered. What I need to do is set up try to figure out the best way to do this. I'm still getting my head around this node system and how everything works. So when an asteroid, a body enters, need to check if it's an asteroid. If it's an asteroid, we need to give the shield a health value, which I'll probably store in a global thing that I've got, because I want eventually to be able to, it'll recharge you over time, but you'll also be able to pay at a space station to repair and recharge it. So we'll add in var player shield health. And we'll initially set that to be maybe 5 while we're testing it. So back to the player script. So somebody I have elsewhere, I checked if it was a player, if it was the asteroid, and I can't remember exactly how I did that. So in the laser script. Tell you what, let's load VS Code up, and it's easier to search for things in there I find than in this editor. Trying to find where I've done this before, because I have done it somewhere in the... Right, so... Hey Josh, not bad. I'll show you where I've done quite a bit on it since last time, tidying up. Don't think you were in the last stream, but I had a lot of issues with collisions. The player laser wasn't destroying asteroids consistently at all, so get rid of that for now, because that's just working on a shield for the player at the minute. But what was happening, you know, the way I was wrapping the sprites with the 9 different versions that were just sort of dummies, I was sort of firing and they were going straight through some of the asteroids, and I realised after a lot of head scratching as to why the colliders were switching on and off, or what looked like they were switching on and off. I wasn't wrapping the laser, so the laser was shooting off the edge of the screen, and it was hitting a dummy copy of the asteroids, not the actual one with the collider. So that took a fair bit of figuring out. Dumb mistake, but I've got those fixed. I've had to add duplicates of all the explosions so that those wrap as well, and I've added like a glow effect to the laser, and also there's now a glow effect on the explosion as well. Just sort of spices it up a little bit, gives it a bit of juice. So I've also tidied up. I was having problems with inheritance for some reason. It just wasn't working in the last stream, but now all the different size asteroids are inherited from one asteroid scene, and from from just the one base asteroid script. So a lot of tidying up and a little bit of visual. But tonight I've just been drawing this laser that shield that you just saw around the player, then that green circle. So I'm just working on the logic now to sort of, when the shield's active, to flash it on and off when the asteroids collide with it. And then we'll be removing health as well at some point. You coded from scratch? Yeah. Yeah, everything in this is new. I've not done anything in Godot before that's been this type of game. So yeah, the asteroids, you've got this base asteroid scene, which has all the basics that every asteroid has. And then the actual different size asteroids inherit from that. All the grayed out things here, that's what is on the original one. I've just added these spawn points in now for spot. It's where the next size asteroids spawn from. Obviously a small one doesn't have any of those. So yeah, we've just connected a signal up to check for when a kinematic body enters the shield. I'm just looking that I'm pretty sure I can check here if they're actually in a group, so don't know why that's got an eye on the end. So I'm just going to add all these to the asteroids group, and then I can hopefully check whether they're in an asteroids group. And small. Have you done any more work on the game you're working on, Josh? Right, so been chipping away at your quiz maker. Is it coming on nice? Have you got quite a bit of functionality in by now, I presume? Right. Now let me check out. I'll check if it's in a group. I think it's just a case of bodies in group and then asteroids. Let's see if that works. Yep, so when we get hit by an asteroid, so that bit's working. So what I need to do is have the sprite turned off, Bit of refactoring job there now, getting the prototype to work with my new multiplayer server. Have you got the server up and running then? As per looking back at old code I wrote, it's making me rich. Yeah, well that's what, with this last night, and I've only been working on it for about a week, 10 days properly, but the code I'd wrote was already disgusting, and the way that I'd set everything out, so I've already refactored this twice in the last couple of days to try and make things neater, and I've organised everything in lots of folders, and I'm just a lot happier with what it's like now than it was a couple of days ago. Right, so yeah, that turns it on. I think what I'm going to do is animate this and flash it on and off a few times. So we'll add an animation player. Hi, not James Aircaster, you alright? I have a back-end running and have an app, and its mobile devices join a room with a room code, and the host app can send and receive data from them. Is that using the system that you'd shown a few weeks back? Or did you end up using something different? Right, so we'll probably have this last for about a second and a half, maybe. Actually, we'll do it for a second to begin with. So, sprite is off. Visibility. So we will set it visible at the beginning. Invisible at the end. Sorry, I missed what you said there. I was just asking about the server. If you use the system that you showed me a couple of weeks back, or did you go with something different? James Aircraft, you've refactored your tile project, so it's way faster now. Yeah, well, the one that Ian said he used. That name rings a bell. Are you using that? Cool. Is it simple enough to set up? I think I'm just going to turn this on and off. I think that should probably be. Yeah, I think that may work. pretty comfortable with it now. Not really, a bit of a headache, but I'm a novice for this stuff. Yeah, it's all good to learn new stuff, though, and challenge yourself. Quite easily just sit making the same games, which I'm quite guilty of, as I'm doing again, really, but I'm adding a bit extra to this than just being an old arcade game. Well, that's the plan anyway. Right. So, shield hit. I've just noticed my fancy coding thing, it's not working as it should. I wonder if it's got rid of the font. Yeah. Let's find where I put the mono font. Yeah, that's better. It's an add-on this that I got off Jotson, who's making a game called Galaxy Ace. It's called Ridiculous Code, and it adds these sort of screen shake and things into your coding. Right, let's... Needs a bit of work, but for now... thinking I'm checking for 2 collisions because I'm already dealing with a collision there with the rigid body, so why have I done another area 2D? Let's move those out of there. Let's change the code. Did I need that? Yeah, there's nothing there. There's no signal to connect, so I was doing it right. So we'll have that turned off initially. Set it invisible to begin with. So I think what I'm going to do is add a bit of glow to this sprite as well. I'm not 100% happy with that shield, but I'd rather get the functionality working and then I can neaten things up later. So what we need now is to reduce the health of the shield when it gets hit. I'll add a bool in here to say whether the shield's active, because once the health gets to 0 on it, we'll remove the shield functionality. Again, I'm actually going to put that in the global game data because it won't just affect it on this level, it'll affect it on other levels as well. So if the shield's active, we'll do that. So we'll change the order. Else, if the shield's not active, give some damage to the ship instead. So then if the shield gets to or below 0, then we'll set the shield disabled. So after 5 asteroids it should stop. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this time it shouldn't flash. Yep. The other thing I'd added reverse thrusting so that you can sort of manoeuvre a bit better and slow down if you need to. The other thing that I wanted to do around this was when the player hits an asteroid, at the minute it's a little bit, they just float along, there's not much change in direction, so I'm wanting to knock the asteroids back when they hit the player. So let's have a go at coding that. Not sure exactly how I'm going to do that, but I'll do it in the asteroid because need to have a look at what that's actually doing. Let's have a quick look at the documents. I think when you try to learn a newish engine, you spend a lot of time looking things up. Yeah, not too sure how to do this. Because the way it says to do it is the way that I've done it here, but it's just not giving it enough force, so... I think what we'll do instead of that, I'll have a read of that off stream. For now we'll add the player health, the ship sort of health once the shield's gone. Leave that at 5. I've got to make these values quite low to begin with because you are going to be able to upgrade hit points, shields, things like that. So maybe you could have another 2 hits after. And the thing will be that you'll get to a certain point in the mining of the asteroids, and if you've taken too much damage, then you'll warp out of the asteroid field, and then you can go back to a base and repair and drop off what you've mined and things. So lots of little mechanics going around in my head, but right, so take 1 off it if it's less or equal to 0. I'll just check that works first. So 5 hits on asteroids. So yeah, we're now dead. What we want to do is then take you out of this asteroid field, and for now it'll just go back to the galaxy sort of oval world where before you've gone into it. So let's refresh my memory how you actually change scenes. Right. Get tree. Change scene. Galaxy scene. So then it takes us back to the galaxy screen, where we can then could choose to go back in. Eventually it'll respawn at wherever the nearest sort of friendly planet or station is, depending how I actually go with this. Where do you usually get your sounds from? At the minute, I use, I think, I'll just find what it's called. I have a few asset packs and things, which I've got like off Humble Bundles and things. But one place I use Zapsplat. There's a lot of free stuff, but you have to credit them. But if you have a subscription, which I do, then you don't have to. They've got tons on here. But what I had thought of getting, I'd seen someone else recommend it, which I think I may get. I'll just see if I can find the bookmark to it. I also use, I think, is it freesound.org. There's an 8-bit sort of generator called SFXR, which makes like 8-bit computer style chip tunes. A lot of my explosions and things I've used, and lasers, I've used that in the past. Where is it? Yeah, somebody had recommended this to me on a stream the other day. Universal Sound FX. It's $39.95 and they're all royalty free, and updates are free for life. And they look to be a good range of sounds in here. So it's a big amount to scroll through. So what we're at, 136 pages, and it apparently keeps getting added to. So I was considering getting that as well. Aye, all the usual suspects. Yeah, I've used that tool before. Yeah, I think everyone pretty much uses the same stuff, don't they? And what is it? I use Audacity for any sort of edits I do to them, because some of those on that Zapsplat, they're quite long, so I just like cut out bits I need, and sometimes, depending on the game, but occasionally when I've had time, I've sort of layered a few sounds on top of each other just in Audacity and stuff. So to be honest, music and sound is something that I'm not very good at, and I don't have much interest in it either. What's this link you've put there? Not James Acaster. I think I have seen that. And there was another one that I'd seen as well. What was that? Which I'm wanting to try out. I just saw it the other day. Let me just see if I can find it. Because this one, it has an Android app as well. It's a NES music editor. Looked quite interesting. You can sort of layer different sort of chip tunes and stuff. I say there's an Android app as well, and it works on Mac, Linux and Windows. So I was watching a video on YouTube of someone reviewing that, so it looked quite good. Way to cook, we'll leave it lurking. Cheers, not James Acaster. I've got a link off I actually. Oh, cheers. Planning on doing a game jam this coming weekend as well. starts on Friday night for 9 days, so I'm planning on streaming that. The Godot Wild Jam. It's one that's run every month. I think it's second weekend of every month. I think we're on to about number 41, 41st jam now. Yeah, this one. Godot Wild Jam. 9 o'clock on Friday till a week on Sunday at 9 o'clock. So I'm going to try and do this every month to help get my Godot skills up to scratch. Only months I probably won't do it is April and October when we have the Indie Game Squad jams. Right, so let's have a look at my list. I've got old school tonight. I did have my board set up, but I just scribbled some to-dos down on a sheet of paper. So we've got the health done. We've got a basic shield sprite. Knockback I'll do another time. Right, what I want to do is I'm destroying asteroids, but I'm wanting it so that the player can sort of endlessly stay mining as long as they're alive. So I need to add in the ability for the asteroids to respawn. So I think I'll, in the asteroid level data, this was some code that I'd done as well since the last stream. Before I just had some asteroids chucked in the scene. Now it actually randomly places them in the scene and doesn't place them where there's already an asteroid or there's a player. So, and when the game's running, it doesn't place them in the viewport, so it doesn't look silly with an asteroid just suddenly appearing from nowhere. They all appear off screen. Right, so what I'll do, I'll keep count of all the different types of asteroids, so, and then do some logic for respawning a large one when a certain number. I should be back on Discord now, visible. Right, so as we're spawning these, so to begin with, the level only spawns large asteroids, so we'll just add to that count there. And what what we'll also do is reset them all to 0.
They say all good things must end, but it's been too long since I've seen one again. It's over now, you played your role, now it's time to dissipate. I may not get very far, let's be honest, I will never be a star. Holding on, take me in where I need to be. Take a good look, 'cause I'll be gone. I can't need you anymore. You're out there, you're on your own, and I can't need you anymore.
Ah, every single sound effect from Resident Evil. Cool. Well, that's good. I bet there's some good stuff in there. That's what I'll be doing after stream, listening to a load of sound effects, because that's something I want to start doing. I normally leave sound effects till the end of making a game, but I'm planning on this being quite a big, long project, so I'm going to try and add sounds in as I go along. So thanks for that link, Josh. I started listening to them all as well. That was really fun. Yeah, it can be a real time sink looking for sound effects, I've found. I'll spend hours listening to, say, a laser sound, and you get to a point where you're listening to that many that you're not even sort of really registering what's good and what's bad. I normally tend to going back to one of the first couple that I listened to. So that's all the asteroid count set to 0.
Take your words back home. Back way nice and slow. Feel the ebb and flow. Just get sucked out to
So we'll, in that bit there, that's where we will put the code to respawn them. I also need to update these counts in the large and medium asteroids and the small asteroids, so that when they get destroyed and things. So I'm spawning 2 medium asteroids. So I suppose I might as well just add 2 to it. And also what we need to do is reduce the count of the large one. So we're losing a large one and gaining 2 medium. And then the medium one . And we're creating 3 new small ones. the plan is this asteroid level, I'll be reusing it for every asteroid field in the game, but I'll pass in this data that I'm sort of currently coding in the beginning of the level. This will be updated from whichever asteroid field you go into on the galaxy screen. So it'll mean that I can have different size layouts, different types of asteroid, and different numbers and things to make stuff easier, harder, depending what type of galaxy you're in. So, asteroid level. So we'll do if So if we've got less than 15 large asteroids left, then we'll get a new location and we'll spawn another one. If yeah, I think that'll be enough actually. I've got to spawn things if the small and medium or less than values, but we start off them at 0 anyway, so it'd start throwing out a load of stuff at the beginning of the level, so what those prompts that keep popping up, what these it's just a fun add-on for Godot called Ridiculous Coding. I just thought it was quite fun. It'll probably annoy me eventually, but it just sort of whatever I type, it sort of fires up, and then when you delete, you get some screen shake and noises and things. It's just an add-on. Ridiculous Coding by Jotson. I saw him using it on one of his streams and then saw somebody else using it and realised that it was an add-on that he'd written, so it's just a bit of fun. Turns coding into a game. I know people have these like key monitor things, don't they, to show what keys they're pressing, so I just thought that was a more fun one than most. Right, let's keep track of how many asteroids there are and check if this is respawning stuff now. Just check that when it gets down to 15 we'll get another asteroid. So it's currently 20. thought I'll have to be more careful now because I can actually die. Right, that isn't updating, so because I've done minus +1 for some reason, whatever that means. They're all boring as fuck. Yeah, they are. The guy who's made it, his game that he's done, it's just so full of like juicy effects that it's not surprising that he's made something like that. I'll show you what game he's making. He's making it in Godot and it's really cool. Let me just find it on Steam. Yeah, this game. Totally my type of game. Got to be more careful because I can actually die now. Yeah. So yeah, it's just really fun. But it's based on the old games like Thrust and stuff. Definitely recommend it. So 18. It's not that easy to die actually because I left it running while I was showing that and I still didn't get killed, so I need more asteroids and faster asteroids, I think. So that's 16. And it stays at 16 because it respawns one every time now. So there'll always be a minimum of 16 asteroids on screen, so that's that checked off. Last thing I probably want to do tonight is just get a bit of a collectible in the game for when the small asteroids are destroyed. Will you be able to visit the surface in your game? That is one thing that I am planning. Probably weren't here earlier, but I'm thinking of having a similar sort of lander. Don't know if you're familiar with that early arcade game where you're sort of in a spaceship and you have to land on the surface, then possibly get out and roam about in. Tell you what, I'll find. Because all my games are modelled on old arcade games. Let's have a look at this. Where is it? I'm planning on you'll have big different size ships that you'll be able to get, and you'll be able to buy bigger ships that'll actually hold like maybe a vehicle to drive around on the surface and things. So this was a game I loved as a kid, Lunar Jetman, which you're sort of in a vehicle and you get out of the vehicle and you fly around in a jetpack. And you'll have a laser, so that's another sort of thing I'm thinking of adding, that type of level in. But I've got lots of ideas for different mechanics, but not sure what will actually make it in. I'm planning having like some shoot 'em up or boss levels as well, like from a shoot 'em up. where you'll be flying around, you get the galaxy, and you may get intercepted by pirates, and then that'll take you into like a mini battle level where you have to fight the pirates. So that'd be one big sort of ship, like a boss battle, or it could be a wave of ships that you have to fight. That all to be figured out. But you'll have that top level galaxy scene that will sort of have all the entry points to all these smaller mini game sort of levels. But the overriding feature will be collecting ores, making money to upgrade your ship and things like that. Maybe it could go as far as having trading elements, but we'll get a mining game done first. Right, so we'll get a little iron rock or something to collect. Let me find... For some reason I've not got the small asteroid in this file, so we'll just add that in so I've got it. So I'll just make something quick and dirty from that, just a smaller version. And then we'll collect iron to begin with, so we'll give it a just the sort of iron vein running through it. We'll add another frame, maybe with the border flashing. That'd be cool, like Starbound Terraria. Yeah, I like. I've got Starbound, but I've not actually played it. But Terraria, yes, probably stuff like that as well at some point. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to make this for PC or mobile either. If it has enough gameplay, I'll go PC, but if it's maybe... If I don't think it's strong enough for PC, then maybe I'll just release it on mobile. Let's make this small. let's add this into the engine. Where did I actually save that? Yeah, of course, I put it in player ships, that's why I can't find it. So that should be in there now, yeah. So let's create a new scene. Just an area 2D will do. I'll probably end up using inheritance for collectibles because there's got to be various ores and they'll all be pretty much the same thing, so we'll make a base scene and then I'll extend from it. It's a collision shape. Will do, and give it a sprite. Drag that texture in. It's 2 frames horizontal. Give it an animation player. Gonna make it flash just with both frames and then probably alternate the glow as well, just to make it sort of obvious it's not a hazard, it's something shiny and sparkly you want to collect. You got a wee green screen up. Yeah, it's really professional. It's like hung on a piece of washing line between the skylight and the hook on the back of my door. Ever the pro. I've just got the space background from the game behind me. Depends where I'm streaming as to whether I'll have the webcam on, because in the week my son's away, so I'm using his bedroom in the week. But when I sort of stream on Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, then I stream downstairs and it's sort of there's a walkway sort of from the stairs to the kitchen and stuff behind me. So there's constantly people wandering backwards and forwards, so I won't have the webcam on a weekend. Love it, dude. Yeah, I bought it ages ago. It's just a cheap one off Amazon, but right, so what was I doing? Animation. Let's set the glow on it as well. We'll knock it off there. That'll do for now. Could you do a wee metallic shine effect? Yeah, probably would be better. The flashing looks like it's a bomb or something. Yeah. I'll stick it in the game, see what it looks like, but yeah, maybe a little sparkle or something running across it. So I need to get consistent with my variables as well. I'm doing some in camel case and some like this for the underscore, and it's going to look a mess soon. Why is it not auto-completing? There we go. So it's in asteroids, collectibles. I try to avoid underscores, messy to look at. Yeah, I'm going to go with a camel case because that's what I've already got in this script. So I think I can just use the same thing I'm using for the effect. I've remade these sort of effect spawners in the level so I can just pass the game object in a position and it'll spawn it in the level. So I think that should now, quite simply, when I destroy a small, it'll probably create 3 of them. No, it doesn't. No, yeah, it's expecting a sprite. Don't need to rotate it, I'll create a new signal. It's going to be pretty much a duplicate of that. So we just need the effect and the location. Then we will listen for that in asteroid level. So signal. Self. Not elf, self. And we'll add the function in here to handle the spawning of that. And the location.
This is for you and all the things that we've been through. I know you're wrong about the last time that we ever spoke aloud. Don't let your own goodbyes, don't let them fool you always. You know you're right, that's why you run away.
Create an instance of that scene we've passed in. Add it to the scene. And then set the position of it. What have I done wrong with that one? Identify rarity isn't a valid type. No, it's not. I think that should work now. Nope, what have I broke? Oh, I've spelled connector on them. Yeah, what's wrong now? I never changed the actual signal I was calling. Where was I calling it from? The small asteroid. Try again. Your spelling, I'm terrible. If I spend all day coding on a laptop, this is my excuse anyway, and obviously the keys are really flat on that, and then my keyboard here isn't, and I just end up catching keys with my clumsy fingers. Did that not work? Probably call non-existent function instance on base nil. I presume nothing's getting passed to it, but non-existent function. Let's try and work out what I've done wrong. Now, dude, I feel I trip up going from laptop to PC because my mechanical keyboard is a non-standard layout. I mean, it's not the layout; it's just the higher buttons. I tend to catch them, and I have a habit of. I must have one finger that's a little bit faster than the others because it always seems to put one letter before it should be typed and ends up being a letter sooner than it should be. Yep, sausage fingers. Right, so asteroid small or collectible, which is a pack scene. It's an area 2D, and we're passing an area 2D and the global position. Passing two things into it. We're listening for it in Asteroid spawner. Trying to connect. Spawn area 2D. On spawn collectible. So that is null. Why is that null? Oh, it's not an area 2D, it's a packed scene. Fingers crossed that fixed it. That's better. Yeah, it passes. What it's passing is a packed scene, but that packed scene is an area 2D. So when I create an instance of that scene, then it's an area 2D, but when it's actually passed in, it's still a packed scene, so easy mistake to make. I notice then that the player's behind all those, so we'll move the player forward. So now what we need to do is add the logic for the collection. So we'll give it a script. Philippe Ratu, thanks for the follow, much appreciated. How are you tonight? You a Godot developer or a game developer in general, or just interested in game development? Right, so I need to play the animation when it spawns, because that's not happening at the minute. You develop stuff using Godot. Cool. I've been using Godot on and off for about 12 months, more off than on, so even though I've been using it a while, I still class myself as a relative beginner with it. Have you been using it for a while? You came with Elliptic. Cool. Oh, you've been around quite a bit. Thanks for sticking around so long. Right. So I don't need to tell you what I'm working on if you've been here that long, so. Yeah, I think you're right, Josh. I think that does look more like something that you'd want to avoid as opposed to try and collect. We'll add the collection functionality first and then see what time we're on, because I'll probably draw that maybe next time. I was putting a chair together, so it took a while to come back to the laptop. This is a really cool game. Thanks, yeah. I'm pleased with how it's going so far. Yeah, the art is by me. The only thing that isn't by me is this space background. I'll show you where I've got that from, because it's a really cool tool, and it's free, and it's quite useful for. I think it's made in Godot, the thing that creates it, and I'm sure that you can just integrate it into Godot, into your game, so that you don't have to use PNGs and things. But at the moment, I'm just using PNGs. Let's see if I can find it. What was the guy called?
This is not the end, she says. She's drenched in blood. You laugh and say, good God, are you crazy?
Deep Fold. Yeah, so it's this guy on itch called Deep Fold. He's got some really cool things. So he's got this generator when it loads. You can change all these palettes, but it's like got some preset palettes in there, and you can sort of choose to have various things in there. And you can just keep randomly, and you can make it so that it does ones that tile. So that's what I'm using for the backgrounds, because I could spend hours drawing them, but they wouldn't look this good, and why reinvent the wheel? And he's also got this, which I'm planning on using, which I thought the first one was cool, but this is even cooler. You can generate various planets. You can sort of randomize the palette, and there's all sorts of different planets. You can export them as like GIFs, PNGs. The PNG is just a single frame or a full sprite sheet. But there's all these different planets. I just think it's an amazing tool. And it's all written in Godot as well, so I really like the lava world one. I've drawn my own asteroids, although obviously there is asteroids in here as well, and you can change the sizes as well, so if you want something a lot more detail, you can do. So the lava world, if you want something really detailed, obviously 5,000 must be the highest it goes to, but you can make really high-res detailed things. There's black holes. Galaxies. So you can just randomise the colours on everything. And star. And a star as well, which is pretty cool with all the solar flares and things coming off it. And you can turn like dithering on and off. You can sort of rotate it. That's just an amazing tool. Oh, Mr. Farty Pants sounds promising. Yeah, that's just for a game dev challenge. So if I get through to round 2, then I presume that the next challenges will be to expand on it and maybe make a game. All that it is, there isn't really anything there to play. It's just the first round of the game jam is to make a character with a unique ability. So it's just basically a character that farts. That is it. There's no game to it at the moment. But hopefully it's up to 10 round jam if you stay in it. So I'm hoping that I get further and make it into something. But yeah, that answers the question anyway. All the other art I'm doing myself, but planets and galaxy stuff, they've got to be from that. Right, so the collectible. Let's connect. Signal. It's got to be when the player enters, so body entered. I think I put the player ship in a group. Let's just check. Player ship. How long have you been using Godot, Philippe? What's been wrong there? I'm sure that's how I did the... Sure. Don't know why it's not auto-completing anymore, but for about 3 years now, still suck though. Do you use GD script or C#? It's a really nice engine though. To be fair, 1.5 years was for a company in my internship. So do you use Godot for your job, or is it just a hobby now then? For me it's just a hobby, but I'm a web developer by day. GD script, yeah. I did have a quick go with C# when I first started using it, and it seemed a bit buggy and the documentation seemed very lacking. Don't know why my auto-completion stopped. Because that isn't how the Q3 works. No, it's that, isn't it?
Take your words back home. Back way nice and slow. Feel the ebb and flow.
Let's check that works.
Get sucked out to sea.
Trying to be indie. I use it as my job, try to be indie. I used to be Unity, but I don't know, God, don't me. Yeah, Josh, who's, I think he's probably still about in chat, he uses Unity. It's never clicked with me. I've been making games for about 8 or 9 years since I started again. I made them when I was a lot younger, but I mainly use Construct 2 and Construct 3. I have made a couple of jam games with Unity and one at uni, but I just don't like it. I'm not saying it's a bad engine, but it just doesn't click with me. I've destroyed the player there, and not the actual. Oh. Is there anything particular that you're working on then at the moment, Philippe? Ratu? Because if there is, and you've got any links or anything you want to share, I'll be interested to take a look. Yeah, and it doesn't take like 10 minutes to load up either, which is a good thing. Right, so we've got the collectible collecting. You're working on a game called Smack the Arse, but it's not published yet. Oh, cool. Well, when there's something to show, I'd love to take a look at it. I'm trying to immerse myself in as much Godot stuff as possible at the moment, just to try and learn it. I'm planning on doing the Godot Wild Jam this coming weekend, so I'll probably stream some of that over the next, well, from Friday over the 9 days it's on. I'm hoping I can shoehorn the theme into making another level for this game, or trying out a mechanic at least. I do have an itch though. What's your username on itch? Is it the same? Ah, you've just followed me, haven't you? Found you. I'll take a look at your games after the stream. Right, so we've got the collectible there being collected now. I think, like Josh said, it does look like a bomb or a hazard, so I'm going to redraw it with a glimmer effect. But I think that's probably it now for the stream. So let's have a look who there is to raid. Not many people I follow are on at the moment. Let's tell you what, we'll go visit another Godot dev who I discovered last night. He's working on a procedurally generated penguin racing game. So we shall pop in and see Vulcan Storm. So thanks for dropping by. Thanks for the follow, Philippe. Hope to see you again. Josh, thanks for stopping around for so long. And anybody else that's still in chat, thanks for coming by. So we shall go see what Vulcan Storm is up to with his game. So I'll catch you all later, and thanks a lot for stopping by.